Happy holidays, Mana Guzzlers. Welcome to the Noob Report, and I'm your host, Ryan Kinney. Today we're going to be talking about the fact that I'm wearing a blazer over top of my pajamas. Yes, it's Christmas. I was gifted something that has completely shattered my EDH dry spell. Now, before we get there, I want to take you through a little bit of what got me into the game of Magic the Gathering and how we ended up at this pivotal point and where we're going next with my decks. So I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for about 10 years, and there were active campaigns to get me to try out Magic. There was a friend of mine who had been dabbling in Standard off and on, and there were a few things about Standard that didn't really appeal to me, such as the set rotation, so I missed that train. But another really close friend of mine, he told me about Commander, and it seemed so much more attractive because that rotation wasn't there. And he talked about how you can get one pre-con and immediately start playing with it, and any upgrade you get would pretty much, you can use that stuff for the duration of you playing the game. Then he told me how 4 people can play at one time, and you can do politics. He really shipped this to me. And I finally grabbed Saskia, which was my first deck, the 2016 pre-con, in which I have a video on. I'll be sure to link it at the end of this one. And it was so much fun. Looking back, he probably let me win a couple of games because he's definitely like a combo player who wants to win by turn 3 or 4, but it's all good. I got the point, and it was lots and lots of fun. I really didn't care about Yu-Gi-Oh! After a certain point. I started selling my cards and getting rid of them, and I had made such a surplus that I was able to dabble with purchasing pieces, and Saskia pretty much stayed my deck until the 2017 pre-cons came out, which brought me Edgar Markov and Vampire Tribal. I had never really played Tribal because I was so new to the game, but it was pretty cool. And that's when I finally started dabbling with infinite combos. Now don't get me wrong, I had some combos in Saskia at the time, but this deck greatly differed from the one you're going to see in the video that I link. It was really put down big dumb creatures and, ooh, swing out. And Infinity was one of the things that when my buddies taught me about Commander, I really wanted to do Infinity. I loved the idea that I could touch Infinity. There was nothing like that in Yu-Gi-Oh! That you could have because the game didn't have many ways to stop people from going off. With Magic, there's resource management because you have to think about ramping your lands, and you have to think about your strategies like really thoroughly based on the amount of resources that you have to play them. But efficiently, it seemed if I need lands to touch and to touch higher level of play, and I'm always restricted to these 8 lands, which was usually my cap. What if I could, have infinite? And when I realized that I could, it was just like, oh my God. So back to this Edgar deck, it was my chance to touch Infinity. So I had killed, with the Exquisite Blood and Sanguine Bond combo. And I remember the feeling when I played that horrible come in tap land that, gives somebody who gives me 1 life and then, killing the whole table. It was exhilarating. Then I put in this other combo that was based around Oathsworn Vampire, Phyrexian Altar, and Bontu's Monument, which, as you can see, you would get rid of Oathsworn Vampire. He can cast out of the graveyard, obviously, so if you gain some life, which would happen when you cast it because of Bontu's Monument, you're set up to bring him back, sack him for the 1 black mana off of Phyrexian Altar, and just infinitely recast him. And since it is casting, it's triggering Bontu's Monument, so you're gaining infinite life and killing everyone at the same time. That was, what my Edgar deck was going to. Casting little vampires and fighting was like cool, but that was it. And I definitely left a bad taste in my pod's mouth. I remember the first day that I killed with Exquisite Blood and Sanguine Bond, I felt like shit because it was like turn 5 or so. And I was just like, okay, well, this felt shitty. Like, let me go ahead and take all these combo pieces out. And I didn't say anything, so my friends came over and they like destroyed my ass. Like, Edgar got countered like 3 times. I got stuff blown off the board before I even had a chance to stand up, and I just got hated out of the game. And at the end, I was butthurt. And I remember telling my friend, like, I didn't even have any combo pieces. But that's some of the stuff you risk when you play that type of stuff. And I, had to be a man and accept that and put the shit back in afterwards. So after Edgar was done, I ended up kind of coasting through other decks. Just little ideas here or there that would give my opponent a chance to be surprised. I did a lot of partner commanders like Tana and Temna. I did, I believe, Kaidel and Temna. Temna's just one of my favorites, like hands down. But then that's when the 2018 pre-cons came out. And by this point, I had already played with, like I said, a couple of random things in between. But this was the third, like, big milestone for me. The milestone decks for me had always been the pre-cons before this gift that we're going to get to. Estrid seemed to be the perfect solution to the hate that I thought I was receiving at my pod. I said, if everything's going to be so aggressive towards me, maybe if I slow the game down a bit, I'd have a better chance of resolving some of my infinite combos. And that was the idea with Estrid. And I did a video on Estrid as well, so I'll be sure to link that at the end of the video as well. It came out really well. So it was a big success. It was a lot of fun. I love Estrid. Enter the dry spell. Estrid became such an issue in my pod specifically because it was this long, drawn out, grindy win condition. It requires a lot of setup. I'm one of those people who, I think everyone likes to win, but I don't want to win so badly that that's everything for me. For me, I'm more pleased if the gears start moving. That's the way my brain works. Once my evil concoctions start moving and breathing life into something, that is what drives me crazy about Magic. That's what I love about Magic. And at a deeper look, I think this is what I liked about Infinity and Combo, because it's like you're grappling through all these pieces and you're trying to assemble this massive blow up plan. And it was always so much fun for me. But I wanted to kind of refocus a little bit. I don't want to wait till 2019 to build my next like big milestone deck. And don't get me wrong, in the last couple of weeks, because I love playing EDH, I did reprise Saskia in some form, and I experimented with different versions of it by taking out some of my favorite cards, like Necropotence and what have you. Then I built Tetsuko Umezawa Fugitive, and I actually did purchase some pieces for that, and I thought it would be a landmark deck, but it's just, being mono blue and being non-infinity, non-combo, because that's been the trend for the last few weeks with me, experimenting with decks that don't win through combos of infinity. It was just not fun for me. I was just kind of bored, and I don't think that I was very secretive about this. I told everyone I was really, really bored, and I went through this dry spell, and then as a result, my videos dried up. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So, last night, I rushed home before midnight because I knew that I was going to do a gift opening with my partner. And, we run in the room and we run out to the tree right at 12:01. We're going through gifts. And the last thing I opened was a pack of cards. There were just a bunch of staples for an Esper deck, which is a color identity I haven't run yet. And then I turned around and there was Zur the Enchanter. Now understand, I love both Zur the Enchanter for arts, but this is sexy Zur the Enchanter. This is Zur the Enchanter that looks like Cat Williams got possessed by the demon of Swagalicious, and he's just coasting across the glacial plain with the darkened sky behind him. And this is a deck I've wanted to build for so long, but I just never went and bought the pieces. I have to build this deck, and there will be a video coming very, very soon. Zur has definitely shattered my EDH dry spell. And if any of you have played the deck and you love to offer your advice, please do so in the comments below. I want to make my opponents as miserable as possible. I am willing to see anything you have to offer, no matter what end of the spectrum it's on. Send me your luck, and I hope that you opened up some cool pools as well. If you did, leave that in the comments below as well. Thanks for checking in, and there'll be some more videos pretty soon. Please subscribe if you'd be interested in seeing them, and like this video if it was helpful to you or entertaining, and that empowers me to make even more. Thank you so much for coming back to watch, and happy playing.